Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie another one of Jack Gartside's patterns, and this is the Sparrow. The hook that I have in the vise is a Marabou I77LS. It has a micro barb and has 3X shank on there. I'm just guessing because it doesn't say it on here, but it's a long shank. And it is a nice heavy Nymph streamer hook. I'm going to start out by putting some weight on there because this is Gartside's Pheasant Nymph, another name for it. But you can use this as a nymph or a streamer. When you finish your drift as a nymph, you could just let it sweep down and fish it as a streamer. So I'm going to go ahead and put about 12 to 15 wraps on there. Kind of lost count, but that's pretty good. It didn't break off correctly. I'm just going to take that and spin it in my fingers if it'll move. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Now the thread I'm going to use is Hemingway. This is 8/0 black. And we're going to start the thread behind the eye. And we're going to keep that lead pretty much in the center. Now because the lead is moving, I'm going to hold it with my finger here until I get up on top of it. There we go. And put several wraps right in back. Then you can break off the excess. And we're going to take our thread back to where it would hang at the barb. And I crimped down that micro barb that was on there. Now I'm going to take a pheasant rump, and this is a natural. And for the tail, I want the pheasant rump Marabou. And you'll find them on the sides here. And we're going to take 2 of them to make a nice tail. I'm actually going to put them concave sides together instead of spooning them. Then you won't have just a cupped tail. Both of them will be together. And we want this tail to be probably no more than half the length of the hook shank. And we're going to tie that right there. Take a loose loop, pull that straight down. Another loose loop, maybe 3, and get that secured. Take the remainder and remove that. You can actually wrap it all the way up if you want a fatter body, but this is fine. Kind of made it the length that will even out the body to the lead wraps. But that's fine. And a nice colored tail there. Now for the body, his original recipe was rabbit and squirrel blended with Antron. So I have gray squirrel, natural rabbit, and a gray Antron blend. You want to keep this fly shaggy, raggedy. So I'm going to make a dubbing loop. Take my dubbing whirl and make myself a loop here. And it doesn't matter how long you make it. And of course you're not going to fill up the whole thing if you make a 6-inch long loop. But I'm going to bring my thread up forward, just in front of the lead wraps there. Going to take my wax stream side leaders and wax my thread. Kind of rub it off my finger there also. I'm going to take my mix here. I'm not going to go real short or real small on it because we want that raggedy look to it. We also don't want it too big. So I'm going to put that in there. Looks like I got a piece of hide or something in there. Pull that one out. And I messed it up there a bit. Get that back in there. Kind of spread that out. Just put just another little pinch in there because I messed it up. And now I'm going to take my thread out of the way. Going to turn my vise sideways, and I'm going to give this a spin. Give it a whirl. You get a nice looking noodle there, or dubbing brush, whichever you want to call it. So we got a nice dubbing brush there. Those loose ones off there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this. You want that nice shaggy look. And you don't want to pile it up either. Actually might need to do a little bit more dubbing on there. Okay, I do need to put a little bit more in there. But I'm just going to dub it on normally on this top spot because you're not going to see a whole lot of that part. Let me get that. There we go. Gonna go ahead and trim off the loop. I was about a wrap and a half away from being all the way. I'm gonna bring this back a little bit. Take a little pinch. You can see the difference when you do that. It doesn't come out as shaggy when you just wrap the noodle with your finger. It doesn't come out quite as shaggy. But it's still nice. You can go ahead and pull any loose ones off. Now you should be about 2 eye lengths, little further than 2 eye lengths from the eye of the hook. Now for the hackle or the collar, we're going to take the pheasant rump once again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one and I'm going to measure it before I even pull it off. I kind of want to measure it. There we go. It should come to about the tip of the hackle or tip of the tail or slightly longer. That one was a little short. Here's one here. Don't really want it too long. Give that one a... So that's pretty good. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to pull all the fuzz off. Just be careful, you can break the stem very easy. The fuzz is usually on a really thick part of the stem. There we go. Trim that off. And you see I didn't give it the crew cut, but I have a longer stem there. I'm going to tie that in. Let's go up a little bit, and then I'm going to fold that stem back, and that'll secure it. I can get in there and trim off that last little piece of stem. I'm going to take my Hackle pliers and catch just the tip of the feather. Try to even get the stem if you could, even if you're in there a little bit further. Now we're going to give this about 2 wraps. Okay, once. You can see how much is on there. Twice. Of course, you can give it more if you'd like, but I think about 2 is good. Go ahead and tie this down. Get that first wrap on there, and I can take that plier off. Yeah, I'm going to fold that forward there a little bit. A couple more wraps. There we go. I knew it was going to break. Get a couple, those couple right there are going to get wrapped right in. Now that's not too much hackle that you can't see the body. Now I'm going to take my pheasant rump one last time and pull an aftershaft feather. You might want to pull one that is higher up on the bigger ones because that stem might be a little bit stronger. And here's one here. And a little bit longer stem means it could be a little bit stronger. I'm just going to peel a little bit off the end there. I'm going to tie this in by the butt. And now you got to be a little bit careful when you wrap your aftershaft feather. Take your hackle pliers. You can see I have a lot on the top there. I'm only going to put a couple of wraps on here. Forming the head. You can stroke them back. Get maybe 3. There we go. Now that's better. I could see that nice fluff on that head there, and I'm going to tie that off. Break that off. Oh, I think the stem broke at the wrong point. Let's go ahead and pick that off. There we go. Now we're just going to pull everything back and form a nice little head there. And I got a little bit of fuzzy, so I'm going to pull my thread out of the way. Going to cover everything. And I'm going to hit it with the flame. And away it goes. Now I can give it the old whip finish. And then put a little bit of head cement on there. Now with this pattern, you can tie it in many different colors. You could use a different color thread and kind of put a little bit of little hot head on there if you'd want. You could actually tie it with a bead. Like I said, you fish it as a nymph, and then, or you can fish it as a streamer. This was Jack's favorite subsurface pattern here. Take that head cement, clean that brush off well. You might even want to grab that aftershaft feather and pull it out of the way, because the head cement will really mess up the head. if you get it on the Aftershaft. Hard to just wipe it off. And here we have Jack Gartside Sparrow, or the Gartside Pheasant Nymph. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies from me, go to etsy.com/shop/flymanjim. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.